Hey everybody, Steven here, and for today's video I'm going to cover 3 soft tissue drills that I do for the calf. Now these are going to kind of be the beginner drills, or what I call like my bread and butter drills. Most people can do all of these. If I have an extreme case, there's variations that I might do with a person, but for the most part, like most people I see can do all 3 of these. Now what you're going to need is a foam roller of some kind, a massage stick, and then a lacrosse ball or an alpha ball, and I'll talk about these when I get to them and what the difference is. If you don't have any of this stuff, I'm going to put links in the description box so that you can find all of this stuff and you can get it if you need it. Now, let's start with the foam roller first, kind of the most basic drill. A lot of people most likely are going to know this. For this, I just want to stack my leg here, the other one comes up, and I go back and forth. Just some tips, some pointers that I see with this is usually I want my hands stacked directly underneath the shoulders, rolling down and back. That only gives me a set range of motion. What I'll do is when I get too far out, I'll place my butt down, pick my hands up, and then reset them to continue. I'm always shifting also. So I might stick with this, but I'm also going to angle my calf. I have my fibia right here, right? So, sorry, my tibia, right here. So I have my shin bone right here, right? And most people end up just hitting their gastrocnemius at the bottom or the soleus down here, but I have all this other area that I can hit. And we base this off these angles that we're gonna hit with this so that we can get into that. And we'll address these with more detail when we get to these other tools. But don't just sit there and go that one direction. Tilt, shift a little bit, right? Now, what I can do also from here, if I'm just holding, I could actually do ankle circles, right? And I can go forward and backward like this. That way I can kind of get some movement with the tissue with this pressure being on a set point. Now I'll go all the way up, so I'll end up going all the way up here. As far as how much time I might spend, maybe 30 seconds on each side, or I might do it for a set amount of passes, right? Or until I feel like I'm like, okay, I can't handle anymore. And then I would switch, and then I would end up doing this other side. Now, as you're doing this, just make sure that you are set. What I'll usually see is people end up going too far out, and that's why we pick up and reset the hands. And you might do this multiple times. For some people, you might need to scale it, where maybe I can't stack this other foot on top. That's too much. Maybe I can only do this, right? And I might shift back and forth like this, almost dragging my butt on the ground. Or I might come here, and I might have to do it as small incremental movements, and that's okay, right? So that's going to be the foam roller here. After that, we have the massage stick. If you do have one, make sure that you can't just bend it, right? A lot of these, they can like bend in half. I want something that has a little bit more stiffness to it. And then once I'm here, right, all I'm gonna do is take this underneath. And I'm essentially doing the same thing, but I have a little bit more control with this. And for some people where even if like, even just setting on this is too much, I might have them start with just the massage stick, because I mean, the amount of pressure is really up to me with this, right? I can get all the way down there. And then making sure that I'm getting on the side also, right through here. Because you have your, you have a ton of different muscles right here, what, your fibia longus, you have part of your soleus on this other side. I think there's like 7 different muscles that people just ultimately end up neglecting. So I can get really in here, especially with, I mean, the fibia is inserting up here. You usually see a lot of knots on this, and I hope I pronounced that right, but fibia longus, this long one right through here, you usually see a ton of knots right in there. And a lot of times we'll see that show up as ankle lack of range of motion, right? So really the ankle's mobility is usually fine, but maybe I can't create as much dorsiflexion, meaning I can't pull my foot as high, so it's affecting, for instance, my squat. I can't squat as low. And that really has to do more so with the tightness that you're experiencing in the calf. So I would do that on both sides, right? Just go back and forth. Same thing, maybe 30 seconds, maybe a little bit longer, really to tolerance. Typically, I might see people spend a little bit more time with this because they can scale this, right? So I can ease off a little bit as it becomes a little bit too intense. And then the last part. So lacrosse ball is high density, so it's really, really, it's a really, really hard one, right? Versus this this is just, sorry, a yoga tune-up ball, which is low density, so it actually has some squish to it. You can actually see it squish in my hands. I can't do that with this, right? This is just a solid rubber ball. This one is not, right? So with this, what we're going to do is we're really going to focus in on this area. So what I'll do is I'll place it on an area, and I'm going to move this around for a second and be like, okay, I feel that. That's really, really tight. And then I'll grab it, interlock my fingers, and then pull it tight into my body, and then I'll essentially just do circles one direction. I usually do 4 to 5, and then after that, I'll go the opposite direction. And that's it, right? And then I would roll to another spot. I would find another one and hold it in really, really tight. I'd do my circles. If you need to, so if it's uncomfortable, for instance, to sit on the ground like I am to do this, you could always sit in a chair and do this, right? That's fine also. So that's with this. This is going to be more intense. This lacrosse ball is, because when I push in with this, it's just a harder surface. It's not going to actually kind of give to that pressure a little bit like this does. It won't at all. It's really going to dig in a little bit deeper with this, and I would do the same thing. So you really have choices with this. And that's what I'm going to do, really focusing on this outside sweep of the calf there. So that's going to be the 3 kind of intro or beginner or bread and butter soft tissue / myofascial release drills that I like to do with myself, with my clients, with my medical exercise clients, just to get that ankle mobile, because that's usually one of the things that I'm seeing with their squat is it has nothing to do with the ankles or even strength necessarily. It really has to do with the fact that their calves aren't flexible, right? The muscles in the calves are really, really tight, and that really moves upstream, so you're going to see a lot of tightness in somebody's hips as well with this. So I'm actually going to do a follow-up video, so we're going to have one that's going to go more for some of the advanced stuff that I might do, or just progressions and scales with some of this stuff, where we can get a little bit deeper, right? These things are going to be more intense, but we can kind of get a little bit deeper in the calf to get some of that relief for that tissue. So if you like the video, hit the like button for me. If you want to see more of these videos, hit the subscribe button for me. And check back soon for that second part. I don't know if there'll be a third. I might be able to cover most of it with that second part, but I'm sure at some point I'll come up with some other drills that I want to share with you guys as well. I know I will be doing a video on foot strengthening exercises that I do with myself and my clients to actually strengthen the foot itself, because a lot of people just, for whatever reason, just don't think that their foot is a muscle, so you have to strengthen your foot as well, and that's going to improve everything upstream, like my knees and my hips and all that as well. So check back for those soon, and thank you guys so much for watching.